Turn me up! Yeah! What's good, guys? Damn! Good to be back! What is good? What is good? Welcome to day number 2. You blew your account today? Holy shit. You're in the right place. You're in the right place. Said me too? Jeez, bro. All right, boys. We'll give this like two minutes so more people can come on in here. We'll see if the audience numbers are the same. We'll see if the audience numbers are the same. But I doubt it. Everybody get real excited for day 1, and then next thing you know, day 2. How was the gym? It was fucking solid, dude. I hit legs. Shit sucked. You said audience numbers gonna be the same? I don't know. Seems like we're kind of lacking right now. Who else is in school? Damn, yeah. I feel like school should be over for you guys, like, at the latest, like, halfway through June. Feel me? The girls in this chat? I know of, like, one girl that's in here right now. Yeah, man. Look at that, bro. Literally a 50-person drop-off. 50-person drop-off from day number 1. All right. Connor, go ahead and pause chat for me. Let's get up and started. So, everybody that did me a huge favor and filled out that Google form, shout out to you guys. Okay. Thank you guys for filling that shit out. It means a lot to me because it helped me get to know you guys more as traders and help me to get a understanding of where you guys are at. The answers were, I mean, pretty much what I expected. Some of them were interesting, to say the least. Some of you guys, like, put funny-ass jokes and shit in there. I thought that was cute. I thought it was real nice of you guys to say some nice things to me about, like, you know, weird shit and all that. But that being said, welcome to day 2. Yesterday, we were pretty much just talking through what I expected out of you guys. And today, we're actually going to get into some actual education. And again, this is going to be one of those things where we're going to be in here and I'm going to be telling shit that I want you, like, today is going to be, the first week really is a lot of you guys just listening to me. And I need that because there's just some shit that I need to get through your head. And today is going to be one of those, okay, where I pretty much break down psychology for you guys. And then the same thing is going to happen tomorrow where I break down psychology for you guys. And I'm going to mix like a little bit. I'm going to go back and forth between slideshows for today, between day 1 and day 2 on psychology, because there's a couple things that I want to make sure you guys start today with that I usually do on, or sorry, not day 2, day 3, that I usually have you guys start on day 3, but I want you guys to start it sooner rather than later. So without further ado, get your notepads out, get your Google Docs open and ready. Like I said, this first week is probably going to be the most beneficial week of the entire mastermind. And I'll stand on that for sure, without a doubt in my mind. If you guys are able to understand the shit that I talk about today and throughout this entire week, I'm pretty confident that if you guys just, you know, get your confluences and get your strategy in check, you should be able to turn profitable literally just off this first week. But also you might not even be able to understand how what we're going to be doing this week will turn you profitable, which is why we have 3 extra weeks on top of that. So without further ado, let's get right into this, okay? So psychology day 1, boys. Get those fucking pencils and papers out. Welcome to summer school, jits. get started. So, after going through the Google Doc, okay, this has been pretty typical for every single mastermind ever, okay, where your guys' most common pain points, like just the most common problems, if I could summarize it into three things, it would be risk management, psychology, and a lot of you guys were like, oh, I'm having trouble with this strategy. I'm having trouble with this confluence. You know, maybe that's true, and maybe you do need to understand the confluences a little bit more. But I truly think that if you guys are able to hone in on risk management and psychology, those are your actual pain points. When strategy is one of the easiest aspects of trading, which is why I said that it's not one of your most common pain points. So everybody that filled out that Google form and was like, hey, like, I just need to understand order blocks and then boom, I'm on my way to profitability. No, there's even if you understood order blocks, I'm still pretty certain that you would be unprofitable with where you're at right now because of these two things right here, risk management and psychology. And that's what we're going to be covering in the entire first week of this, and we'll be tapping back into psychology every now and then after this first week, after we go over confluences within the second week. Okay, but from that Google form, a lot of you guys said, hey, I need to work on risk management. I over leverage, or I can't stop. For whatever reason, I can't stop like placing too much of a percentage down per trade. And my answer to that is, you are the issue. You are the issue. Like, what do you mean you can't stop? What do you mean you can't, like, what do you fucking mean you can't stop yourself from placing a higher percentage down per trade? Okay, it doesn't make any sense. And that comes into psychology. You guys also say, hey, when I place trades, I take one trade and it's a win. And then I get confident and I see another trade set up, and then I give back all the profits and more and end up losing on the day because I ended up taking a second trade. How do I stop doing that? You guys also said, hey, on days that I know I'm not supposed to trade, on days where I don't see a setup, I tend to convince myself that I see a trade and I jump into the trade just because I want to get into the market. You guys don't really say the end part of you guys because you just want to get in the market, but it's true. And what does that boil down to? So a lot of you guys were talking about risk management, and a lot of risk management stems from psychology. We're going to talk about risk management in here, but I think psychology can pretty much cover both of these, right? Psychology obviously covers psychology, but also psychology and discipline can help you stay in line with risk management. Risk management is literally as simple as make a risk management plan and stick to it. Risk management isn't that difficult. Strategy isn't that difficult either, right? You have your confluences, you know when you're supposed to execute, and you stick to it. What do both of those things have in common? Sticking to it. And what does sticking to it have to do with all three of these? This right here. And one of the biggest ones is discipline. So today we're pretty much going to be breaking down what psychology is, why it's similar to how I break down confluences in like my YouTube channel and how you guys will see me break down confluences within trading. We're kind of going to treat psychology almost like a confluence. We're going to break down what psychology is. Okay, we're going to break down why we even want it in the first place, and then understanding it. And then also we're going to touch on some other things that I think you guys are struggling with psychology. And this is kind of to just set ourselves up so you guys understand the concepts of psychology, because so many people get on YouTube and they're just like, they get on YouTube and they're just like, psychology is your biggest issue, and then they leave it at that. They're like, discipline's your biggest issue, and then they leave it at that. Some of you guys just don't even know what the fuck to do with this, and some of you guys don't even understand psychology. So what we're going to be doing in these actual first, I guess, day 2 of the mastermind and day 3 of the mastermind is teaching you guys actually what psychology is and how you guys should be thinking about trading. Okay, and then also how to train your psychology, because a lot of traders who are unprofitable, pretty much every single trader who is unprofitable, they are only working on one of the 3 things that makes a trader profitable. What makes traders profitable? Edge, pause, no diddy bopper, strategy within the market, risk management, and psychology. Everybody works relentlessly on strategy, confluences, backtesting. That's the easiest one, because they know the practice is simple, right? We just get on the charts and we just start writing shit down, right? We start charting up trades, and then it's like, boom, the practice is really fucking easy. But how do you practice risk management? Well, you make a risk management plan and you stick to it. How do you get better at risk management? Well, we're going to get into that during this first week too, because risk management is a lot more than, and this is something that like is literally mastermind exclusive, because if I were to make a YouTube video on this, I feel like a bunch of people would be super fucking confused. But for you guys, I'm willing to do it, where we talk about how every single trader is going to have a different risk management plan, and every single trader, depending on their win rate, depending on the risk to reward, is going to have to create a risk management plan that works best for them. It's not as simple as just, oh, I'm going to risk 1% per trade. If it were as simple as that, then risk management would be like completely taken care of. Is that a super good base point to start at? Yeah, 100%. But is that like all there is to it? No, we need to practice it, and we need to learn how we can develop a risk management plan and a risk management strategy that is beneficial and optimal for our own trading. And again, like I was telling you guys in the first Zoom call that happened, some of you guys might have missed it if you guys joined the mastermind a little bit later. We had one like 2 weeks into it was like 2 weeks before this mastermind started, where I told you guys that this mastermind is going to be pretty different compared to the other ones, where I'm leaving this more open to you guys to find yourselves as traders, instead of me just kind of forcing my trading style down your throat. Pause. Okay? So let's get into it. Let's talk about what psychology is in the first place. And I'm going to sprinkle little bits. Obviously, this is purely for trading, but a lot of you guys are going to excel in trading, and you're going to realize that, hey, trading isn't necessarily the complete end game. So I want you guys to, like, psychology can be applicable to literally everything in life. And we're going to be talking about that in day 3, on how we can apply psychology to our lives so that in turn it changes the way that we trade. But hopefully you guys can take some of the stuff that I'm teaching from the psychology lessons and implement it in your life, implement it in the other businesses that you start, and also implement it in your trading. Okay, so what is psychology? Psychology is the mindset that you have when approaching trading / business. Okay, so again, when I sit down to trade, what is my psychology? It's how I'm thinking about trading. So if I'm thinking, why am I trading in the first place? Is it to make as much money as possible? Is it to, I just need to hit this one trade and then I'll be debt free? Is it, I really need to hit this trade or else I won't be able to pay rent? Or, I'm just trying to accurately predict where price wants to go. Okay, and it's the same thing with business. It's the same thing with literally everything in life. Okay, the way that you think directly impacts the way that you act. Okay, that's how this shit works. If you like, your body can't move, can't act without thinking about it first, right? When I move my hand, there's a thought process of, I'm moving my hand, right? Even though we don't notice it, and we'll get into how we can change our subconscious so that we can think about things in the right way. Okay, psychology is also the way that you think about problems as they arise. So, for example, let's say, oh, I trip or I'm walking on the sidewalk, someone bumps into me, and I fall on my face. How do I think about those problems how do I think about that problem as it arises? Do I get up, brush myself off, and be like, damn, no hard feelings against that person? Like I'm just going to get up and keep walking? Or do I get really pissed off, press that person, start a fight? All of that has to do with psychology, and it's the same thing within trading. Okay, you're probably saying, why is this dude talking about street fighting? Well, it's the same thing as trading. You get into a trade, problem arises, oh, you lose a trade. Are you gonna spin back? Spin back with the Glock? Okay, spin back and try and revenge trade and make back what you lost for the day? Or are you going to brush yourself off and say, look, I fell on my face, and I'm gonna get up, and I'm going to walk away, and I'm going to learn from this and see how I can do better. Okay? And then, again, psychology affects the way that we act. And there's pretty much 3 ways that a human can act, and it's emotionally, instinctually, or with sense, like purely based off of facts. Our ideal way to act, even though it's pretty much like against human nature, should be to act with sense, to act purely based off of the facts that we're giving, to act purely based off the data that is given to us. But unfortunately for us as humans, we have 2 other ways that we act, which is with instinct, which is pretty much like subconscious brain or like monkey lizard brain, right? Where, oh, I see something flying towards me. Am I just going to stand there and let it hit me in the face, or am I going to move out of the way? That would be instinct, okay? Or emotionally. I'm pretty sure I spelled that shit wrong. I definitely did. Doesn't matter. I'm not supposed to be a fucking English teacher anyways. Okay? How do we act emotionally? Well, this one's perfect for fucking trading, right? We'll relate it to life first, though. Because, again, you can't change the way that you think about just in trading. You literally need to think, like, trading, it teaches you so many life lessons where it's physically impossible for you to change the way that you only think about trading without changing your life. So that's like the goal with this full week, is to literally grab you guys and turn you guys the fuck around. Give your guys' head a full 180. Okay, so if someone comes up to me and punches me in the face, okay, even though I could be really fucking upset about it, right? Someone punches me in the face. If I act emotionally, I'll probably do one of 2 things. I'll sit down like a baby back bitch and I'll start crying because I'm oh so sad and it hurt me and it really sucked. Or I'll get really angry and I'll start throwing fists at him. Or I can act with sense and just walk away and understand that I can literally sue him for assault. Same thing with trading, okay? If we get punched in the face, if we lose a trade that we went a little bit heavier on the risk, we can do 2 things. We can sit down like a baby back bitch and we can cry and we can get really emotional about losing all that money that we put down on the trade, okay? Or we can get really angry and we can revenge trade, and both of those are not what we want to do. Versus if we act with sense, we can understand, hey, ideally, we are profitable traders, and today is just one red day across an entire green year or across an entire green month. And just because I had this one red day doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, I know how to accurately predict where price wants to go. Okay? And we act with all 3 of these ways of acting with no problems and with problems, okay? So when there's no problems, when no problems arise and we're just like literally on NPC mode and we're operating from our day to day, we still act emotionally, instinctually, and with sense, okay? And then when problems arise, it typically causes us to act these ways a little bit more, okay? And that's something that we have to understand, because there are always going to be problems within our life. Maybe there's like one full NPC day where like literally nothing goes wrong and nothing goes good, and you're just like, like just going through the motions and like the day's fucking perfect and like you're literally just operating purely off sense and purely off fact. But typically, almost every single day, there are going to be problems that arise, and the way that we act on these problems is purely based on psychology. Okay, so what is psychology? It's the mindset that we have when we approach trading, business, and life. I don't know why I didn't add that. The way that we think about problems as they arise, and also causes us to act certain ways. Okay, so if our psychology is fucked up and we're really emotional, whether it's on the angry, vengeful side or on the super depressed, sad side, it's going to cause us to act certain ways. Okay, same thing with subconscious psychology, that's going to cause our instinct. Okay, and then disciplined psychology is us acting with sense. Okay, and that's with no problems and with problems that arise within our day-to-day life, within trading, within everything. Okay, so why do we even need this shit in the first place? Why? Why is TJR giving me a fucking therapy session right now? And I know you guys are probably sitting here thinking, why the fuck does this apply to trading? And holy shit, if I could fast forward you guys to the future, to week 3, you guys will see when we go back and check some stats and we go back on all these things that I'm going to force you guys to do, okay, you guys are going to realize like, oh, holy shit, I should have been paying a little bit more attention during week 1. So just stay with me now. Okay, so why do we need this? Because if we approach trading in the wrong way, if we're going into it with the wrong intentions, and if we're going into it with the wrong headspace, we are going to get the wrong result. So I can't even do like raise of hands in here, but raise your hand, why not? Okay. Who here, there you go, the request to speak. Chill with that, chill. Okay. Yeah, react to his message. With a hand, okay? Raise your hand if you got into trading for the money. Who is here to make a shit ton of money with trading, baby? Who's here to make money with trading? Woo! Who's ready to make some fucking bread? All you guys are in trading for the wrong reason. All you guys are in trading for the wrong fucking reason. So no wonder you guys are getting the wrong result. Okay? What is trading about? How do we even make money in trading? By predicting where price wants to go. Who here got into trading to predict where price wanted to go? Who here started trading because they just wanted to accurately predict where the market wanted to go? Be honest. Y'all are cappers. Because I saw just as many hands, way more, for the money. Y'all thought that was the reason. If you guys got into trading for the money, you guys are always, literally without a doubt in my mind, 1000% of the time, you are going to get the wrong result. Okay, so that's why psychology is so important. Our thought process causes us to act the wrong way. So we come into trading with the wrong intention. Of course, we're going to get the wrong result, because if I come into trading thinking, how can I make the most amount of money possible? How can I make some money today? What would I do? I would full port. I would put my entire portfolio down on a trade and see where it would want to go. Because with that thought process, right, I'm thinking, how can I make the most amount of money? Statistically, right, me putting my entire portfolio down on one single trade would be how I can make the most amount of money. And in turn, we're getting the wrong result. We're not getting the right result. We're getting losses. We're getting blown accounts, and we're losing funded accounts with that headspace. Okay, versus if we approach trading the correct way, which is, I am in trading. What am I here to do as a day trader? What do day traders do? They don't just print money. They don't just make infinite amounts of money. They predict where price wants to go. They predict where price will go day in and day out. So yes, you guys might have gotten into this. Also, shout out to most people staying in here. We matched the audience numbers. Good on you guys. Good fucking job, guys. Holding that shit down. Okay? But if we just tweak our headspace a little bit and say, okay, fuck the money for the time being. We can still have that like as a bit of a motivator, but that's not why we are trading. Why are we trading? We're trading not to make money, to predict where price wants to go. And unfortunately for us, money is a direct correlation of within trading of predicting where price wants to go. And that's why trading is so difficult for so many people. Okay, because they get into trading for the money and they don't actually know like what trading even is. Trading is predicting where price wants to go. But most people are only in trading of like, how can I make money? And that's in that in turn is just going to get you the wrong result every single time. Because if I come in and say, hey, how can I make money? It's either press buy or press sell with no objective, with nothing in mind. Versus if I get in the market and I think, how can I predict where price wants to go? Damn, that's a whole different story. I have to figure out a bunch of shit, right? I have to figure out confluences. I have to figure out entry and exit strategy. How can I figure out where price wants to go, where price is at right now, to the next point, to the next point, to the next point, to the next point? How can I accurately predict that? That makes trading a whole different game than just how can I make money? It's literally two things: press buy, press sell, and wait. But that's going to get you the wrong result. Okay, so if we think about problems or questions or just actions that come to us the wrong way, we will get a result that we don't want. Okay, so if we have a problem occur in trading, let's say we lose a trade, okay, and we think about that in the wrong way, and we think, how can I make all that money back that I just lost? The instant answer, the obvious answer, right? How can I make all the money back that I just lost is take another trade. But that's going to get us an undesirable results. That's going to cause us to lose money. You see what I'm saying here? Versus if we lose a trade and we say, damn, I didn't accurately predict where price wants to go. Let me take a step back. Let me take a breather and understand that, hey, the money is just a side effect of trading. It's the best side effect ever. But we need to fully detach ourselves from money for the time being and understand what trading is to a fucking point, which is understanding where price wants to go. So problem occurs. How can we think about it the right way? We lose a trade. We didn't accurately predict where price wants to go. Okay, how do we think about it the right way? Oh, well, why wasn't I able to accurately predict where price wanted to go? Oh, we start looking at our loss instead of taking another trade. We start analyzing our loss. We start journaling. We say, oh, I shouldn't have taken this. I shouldn't have taken this. And then the next trading day, we're 1% better as a trader. Versus most of you guys right now are purely operating on the fact that you want to day trade because you think trading equals money. No, trading does not equal money. Trading equals predicting where price wants to go at a certain win rate, right? With probability. And what's the side effect of that? Money. Money has nothing to do with trading. It's just a side effect. Same thing with any other skill. Something that I love relating trading to is basketball. LeBron James. Does he make money on the shots that he makes? No. But what is a side effect of him being really fucking good at making shots? Money. It's the same thing as trading. So instead of LeBron getting in the gym and being like, how can I make me some money? If I make one jump shot, that's $2. And if I make a three, it's $3. That's not how this shit works. He gets in the gym and he's like, how can I be the best basketball player ever? Because I know that me being the best basketball player ever, me making a shit ton of shots, me being the best dribbler, the best passer, gives me the best side effect in the world, which is money. And that's with everything in life. That's with every business. That's with every skill. And unfortunately for us, trading just has a super direct correlation with money. Okay, and moving on from that, if we act emotionally or off instinct, we're going to get a different result than the one that we desire. So if we aren't acting purely based off of data, purely based off of facts, and if we start acting purely based off of emotions, like fear, greed, overconfidence, or off of instinct, which doesn't necessarily apply to trading unless you've literally like programmed in your head, like literally right when you lose a trade, you're back into another one. And that is something that is a huge goal that we need to change. But by doing all of that, we're going to get an obvious different result than the one that we desire. What is the result that we desire? Most of you guys said that, oh, you're in trading for the money. Awesome. How do you make money in trading? By predicting where price wants to go. So forget about money for the time being and figure out how the fuck can you figure out where price wants to go. And none of you guys know how to do that yet because you guys are unprofitable. And I'm sorry that I'm ripping you guys right now, but you guys need to hear this shit. Or if we had started with confluences and started with strategy, you guys would go fucking nowhere because your head is just going to be like money, 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 order block, money, fair value gap, money. If I take this trade, it equals money. No. The skill of trading gives you the best side effect in the world, which is money. But you need to learn the skill of trading first. And what is the skill of trading? Is accurately predicting where price wants to go with probability. And that's why we need psychology, because if we aren't thinking that way, then we're forever and ever going to be unprofitable traders. Okay, so let's get into like understanding psychology now. There's only two ways to approach this shit. Do what you are supposed to because you know that will produce the desired result. Holy shit, bro, I'm sweating because I'm yelling at you guys. Fuck. Do what you are supposed to because you know that will produce the desired result, or you don't do what you're supposed to, and then you get an unwanted result. Psychology, like when it gets broken down, it's as simple as do what you are supposed to, and you get what you want. Don't do what you're supposed to, and you get what you don't want. Which in turn, because of trading, direct correlation to money. Do what you're supposed to, end up making money. Don't do what you're supposed to, lose money. Pretty simple, right? I wish it was. It sort of is, but it takes a lot of discipline for you guys, and we're going to be getting into how we can change those fucked up heads of your guys's. Okay, because think about it. If I come into the day trading space and I think, okay, cool, I'm here to accurately predict where price wants to go day in and day out. Okay, and I'm going to do what I'm supposed to. I'm going to use a correct risk management plan. I'm going to use a strategy within the market that I've proven over the course of time on a demo account that I am profitable. And in turn, we shouldn't even be caring about profitability. We should be just purely focused on the skill of understanding where price wants to go. And with that in mind, there's almost like no fucking way that if you can accurately predict where price wants to go with probability, you are profitable at that point in time. And again, money is out of that. It's literally just, can you predict where price wants to go? And then money is the side effect of that. So if you get into the market and you do what you're supposed to do, which is predict where price wants to go, you get the desired result, which for most of you guys is money. Versus if you get into the market and you don't do what you're supposed to, come into the market with the wrong headspace of how can I make the most amount of money possible, you're going to get an unwanted result, which is a loss of way more money than you thought you would have lost in the first place. And losing money that you can't afford to lose. Okay? And also, if we get into trading and we think, okay, how can I make the most amount of money possible? It's start a live account instantly. Right? But we all know that you guys can't be doing that because you guys aren't profitable. You don't know how to predict price. So obviously you guys are going to get an unwanted result, which is losses. And what do losses equal? Less money. Okay, so I want you guys to understand that psychology is the driver of action. If you guys think the wrong way, you guys are going to act the wrong way. If you guys think the right way, you guys are going to act the right way. Okay? And again, there's only so much that I can do for you guys here. I can't like reach, like, again, just like we talked about yesterday, the mastermind is a two-way street. I can get on here and I can yell at you and I can motivate you and I can tell you the do's and don'ts of trading. But if you don't listen to what I say, then you're not going to get anywhere with this shit. So again, this is a two-way street. I wish I could reach through the screen and just fucking like choke you as you're like trying to place a revenge trade and be like, don't fucking do that, but I can't. Okay, and like the best that I can do is just sit on here and yell at you guys and tell you guys that like, holy shit, you guys are never going to make it in trading if you keep doing that. And hopefully that like gets the point across. I like to take the approach of like semi-good cop, semi-bad cop. It starts off with really fucking bad cop because all you guys need this shit to get through your fucking heads. It's that you guys have no fucking clue what to do with trading right now. And if you guys are telling yourself, no, TJR, you have no clue what you're saying. I do know what I'm doing with trading right now. You don't. You just paid me to teach you how to fucking trade. Let's humble ourselves really fucking quick. None of you guys are profitable at all. Not a single one of you guys at all is profitable at all. So cool. We're all on level 0. We are all on level fucking 0. We're all starting in the same spot, which is level fucking 0. We all don't know shit. Okay? So let's start clean. Let's start fresh. Okay? And hopefully by starting fresh and dumping out all the bullshit that you guys learned before this from, a bunch of these trash ass YouTube videos, I can change the way that you guys think, and then in turn, literally like after a couple months of learning this shit, you guys will like be profitable, and I'm fully confident in that. But we need to like clear the slate right now because some of you guys have confidence that you guys know what you're doing, but again, let's be humble with ourselves and look at where we are at right now. You're listening to me yell at you through a screen, and you paid me for it because you are unprofitable. You came to me for help, so let me help you. Okay, so if we can have in our mind that psychology is the driver of action, the way that we think, literally thoughts cause actions directly. We know that if we think the wrong way, we're going to act the wrong way, and if we think the right way, then we'll be able to act the right way. So we need to change a lot of shit in our lives right now because all of you guys before this were acting the wrong way. Whether you like it or not, whether you thought it or not, you guys were acting the wrong way, which in turn means you are thinking about trading and thinking about everything in life the wrong way because it led you to be in the position that you're at right now, which just purely based on like facts is you are unhappy with where you are at right now because you want to succeed in trading. Am I wrong? You want to develop the skill of trading, which you don't have currently, right? So we're all on square one with the shit. Okay, now moving forward, a lot of you guys have this, which is shiny object syndrome, and this kind of relates back to, hold on, too much fucking yelling. I gotta get some water in my system. Okay. So a lot of you guys have this, and honestly, like the reason why you guys have this is also like I know for a fact that all of you guys have this because this is one of the biggest reasons why most people get into trading. A simple dumbed down version of what shiny object syndrome is essentially I'm walking across the street and I see something shiny in a window. I turn, change my whole trajectory and then end up walking this way because I saw something shiny. Okay? That's what trading did to you guys. Okay? And that can be a blessing and a curse. Hopefully I'm here to change it into a blessing, but for the time being, it's been a curse to you guys. Okay, because shiny object syndrome takes you guys off the path that you guys were supposed to be on. Okay, and it's distracting yourself with something that is pretty, that is shiny, that is lucrative, that doesn't actually benefit you. Okay, and people get this all the time. Even really successful people, like I know for me, in not necessarily in trading, but in business, I can have shiny object syndrome all the time, where I see someone killing it with like a clothing brand, and I'm like, man, this dude's fucking killing it. I'm gonna start a clothing brand. And it's like, no, what are you good at? Okay, trading and being in the trading niche. Okay, focus. And then I keep going and I'm like, oh, this dude's killing it with Amazon FBA. This dude's killing it with real estate. Maybe I should do that. And then it's like, no, what are you good at? Stay on that path. Okay? And shiny object syndrome can literally be one of the biggest downfalls for traders because, again, it's the whole reason why you guys got into trading in the first place. Why did you guys get into trading? Because you see all these day traders, all these hedge fund managers. The majority of people who are successful with trading, they have a shit ton of money. And what is that? That's a shiny object. You see the shiny object, you see the watches, you see the cars, and that draws you towards it. Okay? So I'm glad that I was able to like semi-draw you guys towards me so that I can put you guys on the right path here. Okay? Some other people, they are literally the definition of shiny object syndrome, where people get drawn into their shit and then they don't get anything out of it. Okay, so how can we avoid this? Okay, how can we like benefit from shiny object syndrome without actually getting caught up in it? And that's going to be focusing more on what you should not be doing rather than what you should do. Okay, and a lot of you guys are going to be thinking, well, that doesn't make any sense. Yes, it does. We'll relate this back to basketball one more time with trading, okay? In basketball, you really have to be good at just a couple things. You have to be really fucking good at just a couple things, okay? You have to be really fucking good at dribbling. You have to be really fucking good at passing the ball. You have to be really fucking good at shooting the ball, and you have to have really fucking good basketball IQ. Okay, genetics plays some sort of role, but let's just take that out for this example. So 4 things that makes a really good basketball player. Okay, only 4 things. Simplicity is key with this shit. And it's the same thing with the majority of all of their skills. Okay, so if I want to be a basketball player, what should I focus on? I should focus on those 4 things. Should I be focused on literally the 0.01% of things, like what basketball shoes I should wear, what shorts make me more aerodynamic, what gear makes my body feel the best, what makes me look the drippiest on the court, what shoes will help me jump higher, what shoes will make me be faster? None of that shit matters if we aren't good at the 4 simple things in basketball. And every single person, or for the most part, most people get sucked up into shiny object syndrome because they see these things on advertisements or see, oh, these shoes will help you jump 5 inches higher. Well, guess what? If you can't dribble, if you can't pass, if you can't shoot the ball, and if you don't have good basketball IQ, who gives a shit if you can jump 5 inches higher? Because you'll never make it anywhere in hoops. And it's the same thing with trading. In trading, you have to be good at 3 things. You have to have a strategy that works, that gives you a probability to predict where price wants to go within the market. You have to have psychology, which helps you keep your emotions in check and be disciplined. And you also have to have a risk management strategy. The 0.0001% of trading, figuring out which broker to use, figuring out which prop firm to go with, figuring out what monitor to have, figuring out what PC you should buy, figuring out figuring out what ticker symbol you should choose on TradingView. People really get that deep into this shit. And they think that is why they are an unprofitable trader. They're focused on the stupid, dumbass, shiny shit when they just need to focus on the fucking fundamentals, which is those three things. And that's what we're going to be hammering during this entire mastermind. Fundamentals over everything. Over everything. And that's the same thing with every skill ever. You really only have to be good at the simple, bare minimum shit to be the best at your craft. Okay, if we think about the fucking Globetrotters, if you guys know who they are, they're like a circus basketball team. They're not in the NBA. They like do fucking shows. They're really good at a bunch of stupid shit, like how to do a 360 windmill between the legs layup. They'll make those, but are they in the NBA? No. Could they ever make it to the NBA? No. Because they're not good at the fucking fundamentals. Can they make a half-court shot pretty damn well? Yes. But they're not good at the fucking fundamentals. So, how can we relate this to trading? Oh, well, I have the aimbot swivel master mouse, so I can place a trade in under 2 seconds. Who gives a shit? Management plan. Okay? So something that can help us is reverse thinking, which I pretty much already did with you guys. Think about the end result and then go back in time with the actions that help you get there. And we also did this with our goal setting yesterday, where it's like we have that long-term goal and then we think about 5 short-term goals that we can hit day in and day out to help us get to that long-term goal, right? And hopefully you guys wrote those down and hopefully you guys are actually going to stick to this shit. And if not, good luck. Thanks for the bread. You guys aren't going to make it. Like, simple as that. Okay? So think from end result, go back in time to when the actions start. What does every single profitable trader literally ever say that it takes for you to turn profitable? Oh, well, you gotta have a good strategy, risk management, psychology, and then what the fuck else do profitable traders say? Do they say that it matters about any special shit? Do they say that it matters about brokerage? Do they say that it matters about any of the fucking gear that you have? No. Because trading can be simplified down into those 3 things. Profitable traders, what do? They do those 3 things really fucking well. So now we have those goals in mind. How can we perform and execute on our strategy really fucking well? How can we get really fucking good at risk management and developing a risk management plan so that it works well with our strategy, with our win rate, and with our risk to reward, so it's optimal for us to make the most amount of money? And then how can we be on top of our game in terms of psychology, in terms of the way that we think, in terms of controlling our emotions, and in terms of discipline? Okay? And this is something that is super useful in life, in business, in literally everything. If you guys just think from end, what do people at the end, what are they doing? And just rotate it back of like, okay, so we know what people are doing at the end, and then we just go back on the steps, and then it's like, boom, that's how we get there. Okay, so what do we need to do? We need to do those 3 things. Perfect. We're starting on psychology. And then from there we go to risk management, and then from there we go to strategy. And that's all this mastermind is about. Those 3 things. And if we can do those 3 things, we will be profitable traders. And then just to hammer this bitch home one more time, the second that you make trading about money is the second that you guys failed. Because as we know, at the start of today's lesson, what did I talk about? The majority of you guys got into trading for the money. You guys are day trading to make money. We need to change the way that we think about this now. And we are now trading to predict where price wants to go. Okay? And even today, like right before today's class, I was literally in your guys' chat and I was watching the shit. And you guys are showing like trade setups and shit, and it's lunch hour for New York session. you guys are when you guys are placing those trades, you guys are trading to make money. Because we all know that market doesn't move and doesn't have the volume and volatility to actually be seeking out draws on liquidity, to actually be seeking out imbalances during lunch hour. We know that. Okay? So why were you taking those trades in the first place? And identifying that, hey, like that's the first step, is identifying those actions and saying, damn, I placed that trade because I wanted to make money out of it, not because I actually thought that price was going to go there. Like literally sit back and look at the past week of your guys' trading and think, did I actually think price was going to go there? Or was I trading just because I wanted to make money? Be like super real with yourself. And more often than not, you're going to realize, damn, I placed way more trades than I should have. I was trading at times that I shouldn't have. I didn't even execute on a correct strategy. I was acting based off of emotions. I was acting without discipline. And why was I doing that? Because I just wanted to make money. Okay, so now that we kind of have talked about this, let's get into our special little funded accounts, okay? Again, now that we've established that all of you guys are essentially unprofitable traders and you guys are in trading for the wrong reason, but we're here to change that. Now that we've established that, who here thinks that they can pass a funded account right now? And I swear to God, if any of you guys say yes, I don't know what the fuck to tell you. Thanks for your bread. No, I do know what to tell you. Thanks for your bread. I don't think you're going to make it in this shit. Cool. Because we've established that we are in trading for the wrong reasons and we don't necessarily know what we're doing just yet in trading, but that's what I'm here to do for you guys. And that's the first step. Step number one, humble ourselves and understand what psychology is so that moving forward in this mastermind, we actually know how to look at trading. And I think that I was accurately able to show this to you guys. So the majority of you guys said no, cannot pass a funded account right now, which thank God you guys said that. Thank goodness. Because I would be fucking pissed and literally would give up on this entire group if you guys said that, yep, I'm ready for a funded account. After me literally, after all of you guys being like, I'm in trading for the money. After saying, yeah, I take trades to win money. You're a fucking gambler, bro. Okay, so I'm glad that we were able to establish that. I'm glad that we were able to humble ourselves for this lesson. And now we have a proper headspace so that we can move into how we can actually build on our psychology, because today was just fully understanding it. And I hope that like today was actually pretty significant and helps you guys stop taking a significant amount of losing trades, because now you guys are going to be thinking about trading differently, a lot differently. It's my goal after today. Okay. And if you didn't learn anything from today, again, I don't necessarily know what to fucking tell you, because every single one of you guys, for the most part, came into trading because you guys are trying to make money, and that is not our goal. Our goal should be to predict price, okay? Without money as the objective. Money is just a really fucking awesome side effect. And because we don't know how to predict price yet, and because you guys admitted that you guys are in trading for the money, we're going to postpone the funded accounts until the end of the mastermind, okay? Based on your guys' decision. Damn. Okay? And then, when you guys are ready, and I'm ready to let my little Tweety birds go from the nest, and I've taught you guys everything that I fucking know about trading, then I can give you guys your funded accounts, and then you guys will be able to crush that shit. But for the time being, purely based off of today's lesson, and also based off of your guys' Google form, answers, we know that you guys aren't ready for that yet. And I'm glad that you guys are able to like take a step back and be like, okay, yes, I'm obviously not ready to take on a funded account right now because you guys paid me for a reason. There was a reason why every single one of you guys is here, is because you guys aren't confident in your trading ability and you guys want to learn how to trade better. And that's why you guys are here. Right? So, hell yeah. Day 2 in the fucking book. Psychology day 1 in the books. Okay, hopefully I was able to change the way that you guys think about trading, and then hopefully you guys are able to look back at all the trades that you guys took for this past week, okay, and you guys can think, okay, damn, was I taking this trade to make money? Was I taking this trade because I'm thinking about all the money that I'll make from a funded account if I just pass it off this one little trade? Okay, or are you actually trying to predict where price wants to go? Okay, and that changes the entire game with this shit. And again, just like as a little recap, as a little summary, remember, the way that we think causes the way that we act, okay? And we want to be acting with sense and based on facts and based on data that is given to us, not based off of emotions, not based off of instincts, okay? And the headspace that we have when we approach trading will directly give us a result based on that headspace. Okay, and if we approach trading in the wrong way, we're going to get the wrong result, versus if we approach trading the right way, we're going to get a desired result. And that's the awesome thing. Regardless of wins or losses, we are going to get the desired result, because let's say we're still unprofitable, but we're going into trading with the right headspace of us trading on a demo account and us saying, okay, I'm here to predict where price wants to go. And I lose for 10 days straight. Am I still getting the desired result? Yes. Why? Because we are learning where price wants to go. We're learning from the losses. We're learning why we weren't able to predict where price wanted to go. So in turn, we're getting the desired result. You see what I'm saying here? It's always going to be a win if we think about trading in the right fucking way. Versus if we think purely based off of monetary gain, it's going to be forever L's on L's on L's. Versus if we think, I just want to be able to predict where price wants to go, a win, thumbs up. We predicted where price wanted to go. We can go back and we can analyze why, like, how did I actually know where price wanted to go? If we take an L, if we lose a trade, sorry, not take an L. If we lose a trade, that is still a benefit, and we still get the desired result because it helps improve our skill on predicting where price wants to go. Get me? Okay. And again, like I just talked about this, if we do what we're supposed to do, we are going to get the desired result, versus if we do what we aren't supposed to do, and I know this sounds fucking brain dead, stupid simple. If we don't do what we're supposed to do, we're going to get an unwanted result. Like, yeah, obviously, but sometimes people just need to fucking hear that shit. Okay. So, really awesome day 2. I'm glad that we pretty much had the same amount of attendance as we did yesterday. Day 3 goes down tomorrow. I'm really excited to get into it. We're going to be talking about pretty much how we can actually start, now that we understand psychology as like a whole, we're going to get into a lot of discipline shit and pretty much treat this as like tomorrow being like the first homework session, or the first, I don't know, like drills that you guys are going to do. And hopefully those drills and things that I ask you guys to do, first of all, hopefully you guys don't flake on them and actually do them, because if you do flake on them, no doubt in my mind, you guys probably won't make it out of this shit alive. But if you guys do them, I'm pretty confident that, first of all, your life will change for the better 1000% by the end of this month. And also, second of all, your trading will 1,000,000% change for the better. Okay, so keep that in mind going into tomorrow. I appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I know today was this entire week, like I told you guys, it's just going to be like full yap session. Okay, full yap session, but I gotta teach you guys some shit first before we get into any sort of questions, and there shouldn't necessarily be any questions about this. This is just absorb the information and fucking move with it. So I appreciate you, boys. I'll catch you guys tomorrow on the stream early in the morning and then on our mastermind day. All right, boys?